90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. You're tuned into another episode of your favorite Big Brother commentary show, The Diary Room. Tis I, one of your hosts. I am Emol, joined with my co-host.
Hi, my name is Chris, just Chris, still Chris, always Chris, forever Chris. And I am the other resident Big Brother claimed, but not also really expert. Perchance. Big Brother expert, perchance.
Big Brother observers.
Big Brother, certified Big Brother observer.
Sometimes have insight, sometimes have no
Sometimes
sight.
not.
And thus we get into the week 6 recap, where despite having more hours than usual, for more details, more fun and chaos, I don't remember what happened. So I'm gonna recap myself into remembering what this past week was. But I will address first that Chris and I are wearing items of victory. I cannot say hat, for Chris is not wearing hat. Chris has sunglass of victory, and I have crown of victory. For this past week, we mourned the loss of one Brooklyn, who was a draft pick of our... I think on our Instagram, too, what I usually do is I'm like, oh, you, like for Lisa, I was like, you and your glitter shall be missed. But this week, I wrote, Brooklyn, you and your stealing Angela charcuterie board are deeply missed. Missed by the Diary Room WMSC's own version of Ainsley, named Oswald. Brooklyn was an Oswald pick, so we are victorious. But for how long shall both of us be victorious? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about this week. And if you told me during our last episode the outcome of this week, I would not have believed you. But I would have said, well, that makes sense. But we're going to do the little like, you're probably wondering how I got myself in this situation. So we're going to figure out how we got to the outcome of this past Thursday. Well, it all started on Sunday.
Wow.
Wow. When, goodbye, Brooklyn. People need to go play a new HOH comp. And we have a winner. We have a winner of HOH.
We had a
week
winner.
6. And I, for one, enjoy getting a little bit of spoilers. And I did find out that night, and I went, oh! Because we finally got a T-Core win. What?
Yay! Yeah. I also knew about this beforehand as well, unfortunately. But I mean, it's not like it was a very satisfying competition, so I can't really complain.
That's true. It was actually a forgettable competition, if you will.
The most forgettable by far of this entire season, because they basically did the exact same thing a couple weeks before, just with a different medium, I guess.
I could out us, and I think I will, but straight up, we could not remember what this comp was. We couldn't remember
what the competition was.
We knew
the
it
secret's
was
out, guys.
It was true false, but I was confusing it with, exactly like you said, an older comp, with images, and they were like AI generated images.
The video of the animals.
But this time, it was memorizing sounds that the house guests made throughout the weeks. There was one that was really gross, and I don't remember which one it was now, but it was probably eating related.
It was the one where Matt was eating his quesadilla.
I didn't like it. I don't like these noises, but more than that, I would have never survived this comp. I would think I would be out immediately. Weird. I think I played along. I got the first one. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
It was downhill from there, and the only way I would have won is if everyone else was somehow worse than me, not because I was better than anyone else.
Well, that's how T-Core won. She wasn't 100% sure of her last answer, but everybody else was also just as clueless.
Mm-hmm. And
And
so
it was
that's
like
how. Mhm.
a five you it was like there's like only six, there were like six of them left. That's not only, that's like a pretty big chunk of the house at this point. And they
Mhm.
all voted like whatever, the opposite one, and she got the one, she was the only one who actually voted correct, and it knocked off like five people.
I fear there are
But
some games of physical strength and some of mental strength, and there are some of luck. And perhaps some are disguised as others, but they are simply luck. And that's the only way I could have won.
yeah.
But so we are this many weeks into the house. I know myself and a lot of people online too were like, we like T-Core, we like chemo. We just need them to like do something. And it's just become like this bit that T-Core is just kind of existing and like doing a good job at existing. As part of like flipping the house a couple of times, doing
Yeah.
great social game wise. But what are you gonna do when it comes down to making a choice? And so T-Core wins HOH and is now presented with you must make decision and present it to the household. And so I don't know if we wrote this point, but I will address the crying for T-Core's win.
Um,
Some house guests got really emotional over T-Core's win. Who was it? I think
uh,
Rabina was part of it.
Rubina and Chemo,
Just
they were
crying,
crying in the bathroom,
crying over T-Core's win.
but everybody else is like following her around too for like a lot longer than normal. Like usually
Hmm.
they do, but then they just kind of like break apart. But like Angela commented, I don't know if was it Angela? Somebody commented and they were like just following her around like ducks. And like they were literally in like a line formation following
Hmm.
T-Core, who was just walking normally. Like they weren't doing like a silly conga line bit or anything. She just kind of was just walking to the bathroom, and everybody was walking right behind her except for Angela.
That's so silly. I feel like there's a bunch of things this week that just kind of went over my head, stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I
it
believe
was
it. I maybe
besides the gameplay, like I don't really remember anything else. Well, actually, that's not true. Well, it's half true because we also got another thing revealed, the AI instigator, which was revealed to be Tucker,
hmm
who had until Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, until Wednesday to instigate him and his fellow house guests, because you can use
hmm
yourself, and he did use himself. They basically did the same thing as they did with like Angela for the deepfake HOH. Um, but he
Yeah.
was able to control the specific person and what they were saying. Um, and based on his performance, America then voted to give him money. Um, and let's just say he didn't really do a great job at it. At least that's what I think. The first thing he did was make a joke about him and Rubina's relationship as Rubina, or no, as Quinn.
As Quinn.
As Quinn, he made a joke about his and Rubina's relationship, and then Rubina got super like sad about it because she had no idea it was Tucker, because no, this is like a new twist that the house was unaware of course, and she just sees this AI Quinn up there, because obviously why would it be Quinn if it's AI Quinn?
Mm. Yeah.
So she was like, I'm so sad. And then Tucker was like, it's okay, babe. We can now nobody now we don't have to be secretive.
So, I mean, okay. Very important
That was
points.
my Tucker
I
impression.
loved it. Very important point that because Big Brother messed up well, the house messed up with the deepfake HOH that Quinn had, and everybody knew about it, and it wasn't shocking or surprising to anyone anymore. Part of this rule, a rule of this new instigator twist was that Tucker was not allowed to tell anybody. So he decides to do the instigator thing where, yes, via Quinn, he outs his relationship with Rubina, also mentions the Pentagon Alliance by name. Rubina's sobbing in tears, and he is not allowed to tell her at all that, hey, this was me, and can't comfort her. And like you said, his exact is like, at least we could like hold hands now. Like that was his goal. But he revealed that too through the diary room sessions where it's like I think that was his only intention was like, okay, half the house knows about us anyway, at least we could make it official. I did not realize at this point that not everyone in the house knows because it's so obvious to viewers, but also
Yeah.
should have been obvious because Rubina was in his HOH room like the whole week. I don't know how people didn't know. But she was really
And
upset by it.
either way, why would you use your power that was given to you to stir up controversy in the house, which that's literally your MO. He was making me a little angry this week because he just didn't do anything with the
Hmm.
instigator twist on Wednesday. Like, could just knock this out right now. The only thing that he talks about is Angela. Am I allowed to say this?
Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Angela, what did they say um instead of throwing, they said moving. I don't.
She said, well, what she said, because she
What
kept
did she
talking
say?
about moving butt.
Moving butt.
Moving butt. She, in fact, moved butt.
Mhm. And now Tucker decides to make fun of this bit, which the whole house was like there for when
Hmm.
Angela was learning.
Well, I think the only good thing there was that that convinced some people that the instigator was Angela because they were convinced that Angela would like to talk about herself.
hmm
Also, before they announced it, I know a lot of people online were speculating it was Joseph who got it because apparently he was acting really cocky. Like, like he was talking about how he thinks he's gonna get America's favorite player at the end of the season, so
Oh,
that
I
mm,
I also remember seeing something about how Joseph told somebody that he was the instigator.
mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
don't remember who exactly it was, but I'm gonna do some more digging.
okay.
Because I remember seeing something about this,
Because there's nothing
but they
saying that
just
another
never
house
aired it.
guest can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because they had so much time to. But yeah, I know coming into it, I didn't think it was Tucker. He did a really good job hiding it during the live feeds beforehand. Apparently, I don't watch them super frequently. I get like overviews. But then people were also thinking there's no way it could be Tucker if Rabita is this upset. At least in the diary room, he seemed upset about making her upset because that wasn't his intention,
hmm
which I'm glad he talked about because otherwise I'm like, you look awful right now. Like you just made someone cry who you care about supposedly more than anything. I mean, it sounds to me like they recognize they're in a game, but who knows what could happen, after the season. So that was a bit disappointing, especially when part of this instigator is that America gets to vote on how much money Tucker gets as an outcome. I think it was like he could get up to $20,000 or nothing, depending on how America feels his performance was. We could talk about it later, what he ends up getting, and if we think it's
Oh
justified.
wait, did they announce how much he got?
He did.
No.
But that's on Thursday. We're a little
Oh,
ways away
oh
from
yeah,
that.
because I didn't watch that. I didn't watch the extended interview. I forgot, or not the extended interview, but like the post of it. Yeah,
I couldn't remember if I watched it later or not, but we'll get to that then.
yeah.
But yeah, he actually I don't think even viewers thought it was going to be him for Instigator. But yeah, that's going on. But at the same time, as Tucker's doing his own thing, he makes a really stupid move on Sunday at the start of the week. this kind of thing that I guess a couple house guests think is the courteous thing to do in this house, which is one of the stupidest moves you can make, and that's volunteer to be a
Offer
pawn.
yourself up as a pawn.
Now, I believe he said this before T-Core said a thing. I'm pretty sure it was just
He
like,
said,
I got you. You could put me up
yeah,
if you need to.
he said that he was going to offer it because he offered everyone else the option. Um, so he just offered it to her out of courtesy.
Why? Why is that
Why?
courtesy in this house? Because you know who else did that? Cedric did that. You know where Cedric is? On the outside with us. Just kidding. No, we're in the diary room. But anyway,
Yeah.
come on. Do we
We
not
camp out.
learn? We do not learn. And so Tucker does that pretty much even before T-Core really talks to anyone, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Then she's polling the house to figure out who else to put on the block. Um, this part, I admit, I'm a little fuzzy on. I feel like,
I well, it wasn't really super crazy. She went around to her potential targets, Leah, Angela, Mackenzie, and Cam. Actually, she didn't go to Angela. They didn't air that. But she said she did mention that she was thinking about Angela. But she talked to Leah, Mackenzie, and Cam about who they would put up if they were at her place. And Mackenzie named Quinn and Tucker, who are people that she was working with. So she was like, okay, if she's after people I'm working with, I'm gonna put her on. So that was her first nomination. And
yeah.
it basically just kind of goes down the line from there. She asked Leah and Cam, and they both gave her absolutely nothing. And the bit with Leah was pretty funny, where she was like, please tell me three people. And then she was like, please tell me one person. And then she just stood there completely silent for like 20 minutes. And I guarantee that's probably how the conversation with Cam went too. Because in the end, they still ended up nominating Tucker, Cam, and Mackenzie. That is Thursday or Sunday. Sorry.
Close.
Lol. LOL. That was Sunday. And yeah,
And
mov-
thus,
moving into Thursday,
no,
we got 2 hour episode.
that's Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. I keep saying Thursday. Why do I keep
It's
saying Thursday?
okay. Chris is
I'm
off
a
by
little
one
eepy.
day.
I'm a little eepy. A little bit eepy.
EP because
But
there was too
yes.
much to watch this week.
Yeah.
Because, like you
A
said,
lot.
2 hour
Lot.
episode on Wednesday. Well,
I guess we start with the veto.
I'm giggling at the note for the veto winner, but I guess we're gonna get there
Mm.
because we have AI apocalypse, aka ball shooty thing,
Yep.
and this
Ball
is
slingshotty thing,
this
if we're being technical.
this was a little tragic because of the end of the note. I'm gonna go to the
Mm.
end of the note.
Yes.
We thought we were going to get the classic OTEV competition this week. Now, the house guests, note that I wanted to say last week, but I didn't. We're studying for OTEV because essentially in this comp, you have to remember things that happen in the house. Who won what name of competition, what like HOH week 2, and
Yeah.
who was the third picked for the veto comp 2 weeks ago, and like random little facts like that. And so, unfortunate note that Kimo was helping Tucker and Cam study for it. Kimo, what are you doing? That was like live feed moment. That wasn't aired, but like, why are you helping them like this? But they're studying nonetheless. And I mean, I saw before the competition was aired that there were the classic prizes, punishments that usually come out of OTEV, and we didn't get OTEV. And it's like this big like character that looks like it's gonna bite the house guest's head off, and like they have to present the thing. But
Like an
anyway,
offering.
you must
We'll
present
get
your
OTEV
offering.
eventually.
I
We'll have
we
time to
will.
talk about OTEV when it
We
comes.
will. but we're upset
We are
because we
upset.
wanted
I'm very
OTEV
upset.
already. But we'll
Uh-huh.
get there. But what we did still get was prizes and punishments. In ball shooty thingy, like you said, we there was a
Ball shoot.
slingshot,
Yeah.
and um, who played?
It was
Obviously, T-Core,
T-Core
Mackenzie,
and three
Cam
numbers.
Tucker,
And then
Angela,
Angela,
and insert
Joseph.
and Joseph.
Because they picked Cam and Cam chose Joseph to play. And obviously, first round exit himself,
Was that when we were like, why didn't Cam choose Chelsea?
Chelsea. I think it was because he didn't want to like attract too much attention to their relationship, but
Hmm.
literally everybody knows about the Pentagon and has known about it for like 5,000 years. So
Well,
like,
Cam just came in the house,
yeah,
so
that's true. Pretty bad game move from the new guy. Let's see if
because
let's see if it screws him over at 6 by the end of
yeah.
this veto.
But yeah, Joseph again. Joseph like doesn't want to win anything. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. I don't know if it really would have served him well this time around.
No, definitely not.
I
This
don't
time, no.
I don't remember the exact order of punishments and prizes.
I do. I think it was
I'll
the
let you
first
take it
one is
away.
obviously always the veto. So, um, Joseph was out first. He got the veto. Second out was Angela, and Angela got the
That must
uh
have been the it was the
it was
Matrix.
yes, it was the Matrix because she traded it for the veto and gave it to Joseph. Joseph
Giving
got
giving the
the Matrix.
Matrix to Angela would have been one of the funniest things.
Well, okay, I really liked it with Joseph.
I think it
We
was
get huh?
I think it was still good,
I thought it was great.
but
Anytime I get to see him on screen, thank you, Joseph.
but yes, Angela happily gives that away.
hmm
You take
And
this one.
then right after that, it was who was playing? I believe. Yes, it was Mackenzie. Mackenzie was out third, and she got the luau, the trip to Hawaii.
Hmm.
And she kept her punish or her prize because she was like, if I'm gonna go home, I want to do something good for my family,
Hmm.
which power to her, I guess. She gets a free trip to Hawaii and she survives a week.
Hmm. Well,
If she
also
does.
that far down in the order, there's no way that if she took the veto that it would stay with her.
Exactly. That's
Because
why you just kind of have to make compromises like that.
yeah, and the
Um,
other two people on the block are still in the game at this point.
yeah.
Hmm.
And fourth out was Tucker, right? No,
I think it was
it was T-Core.
yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Tucker versus Cam was the last 1v1. And then Key T-Core, Jesus. T-Core got the AI assist and and um this is so funny. So T-Core gets AI assist, which is a punishment where the house guest with the punishment has to put on a stupid looking leotard, makes him look like Ainsley's assistant, and look up random questions in an encyclopedia at will. And so then, spoiler alert, the next person to leave the competition was Tucker, and which means Cam ended up winning the power of veto by a process of elimination. But
Congrats, new house guest.
congrats to Cam, by the
Woohoo!
way. New house guest. So Cam wins the veto.
Cam goes
And
from not existing on the block to winning competitions.
right?
Honestly, I've made fun of him. I still will, but good
He's
for
still
Cam.
good for Cam. He won
Welcome,
something.
Cam.
He saved himself. And but the funny bit, now Tucker, second place prize is $5,000. And Tucker decides to be a doll and give his $5,000 to T-Core in exchange for the AI assistant. So essentially, he paid her $5,000 to wear a stupid costume.
Gives.
And he thought that this would be like enough to make her do anything he wanted this week
Mm-hmm.
for some reason.
Well,
Which, like,
he gifts a large gift to the HOH,
yeah,
hoping that would do something. Because
I
also,
mean,
if Cam's the last
it
one,
makes
why wouldn't
sense.
Cam take the veto from who has it at this point? Angela still?
Yes.
Which is interesting to note then that usually the next person always takes the veto, but it's always the last person. Like 9 times out of 10, the last person, aka the winner, well, the winner of the
Yes.
competition isn't always the winner of the veto, but 9 times out of 10 it is. So I was
Has it
impressed
ever
that
been that way?
where the
I'm
winner of the
trying
comp
with
isn't
the
the veto
winner of the
winner.
competition doesn't get the veto? I don't.
I think it's happened before where someone
It
felt really
probably
safe,
has.
where they
Yeah.
just took the prize instead.
Yeah.
But
Well, his prize was actually a punishment. Because
that's true.
the
The
one
last
that,
one was.
yeah, the last one was the radiation eradication punishment,
Hmm.
which was the hardest part of the episode to watch because Cam gives it to Angela in exchange for the veto, and that punishment requires Angela to walk is a pretty long distance. It's got to be at least like 5 yards
Hmm.
give or take, across the yard, back and forth, picking up these small green balls with like a trash picker upper. And she has to do 1,000 of these small little balls, walking back and forth. And not only that, which for some reason they didn't think was enough, which for the average person, that is more than enough. But not only that, they force her to take a goo shower to get rid of her radiation, where she gets sprayed with like the wall goo from like the wall competition, and then she gets sprayed with water to rinse it off. Barely. There's still more goo on her, and the house guests were literally just watching as she was doing this, and they had to help her every time. And she couldn't like take a break, go shower, because one, this is happening every like 5 to 10 balls that she deposits, and two, she has a time limit for
Hmm.
this.
Yeah, I think she
12
only had
hours?
12
No, it was
hours.
until the next, well, it was 12 hours to the next competition. But it was like the amount of time to the veto. And so she stayed up from like 11 o'clock till like 7 a.m. putting these balls away. I It was hard to watch.
Yes. It was really sad, honestly, to watch it. And like I'm really proud that she did it because also
Yeah.
I think that would be really strenuous on anybody, but to also factor in the fact that she's
It's
like
Angela.
50
Yeah.
and like to walk back and forth, yeah, it sounds easy, but to do it that many times and then you have these stupid showers is ridiculous. I did appreciate though that it seemed like the majority of the house guests were out there pretty
They were
much the
helping
whole
her.
time.
Yeah.
There were very few that were missing, and maybe they were off doing their own punishments, hopefully. What one thing that happened on the feeds that they didn't bring attention to during the edit was that I don't know if it was the whole time or just towards the end, but apparently some of the house guests were putting the towels that they wrapped around her in the dryer so that they were warm because the shower was freezing cold and she was like frozen. And so they warmed up the towels for her. There were a ton of towels out there. The cutest thing though was I think it took her 9 hours to complete it.
Hmm.
So she still had some extra time. Go, Angela. When she was running back for the last ball, all the house guests made this like tunnel with like their
Yeah.
arms so that she would walk through it. I thought it was funny that at the end there was a pair. The pairing was Cam and Rabina. So it's like one of the tallest and one of the shortest in the house making this little tunnel. But she ran through it and it was really sweet. Also that Mackenzie was walking back and forth with her for the home stretch of her punishment. As a viewer, it was really great to see that from the house guest because it was really hard to watch. Like
Hmm.
I felt awful for Angela. And at the same time, I feel like she's at least like probably feeling like she got the Big Brother experience. I was on the show so far. She's, survived as far as she has. She's been HOH. She's experienced a slop. She's experienced a punishment. She's getting like the whole Big Brother everything.
And she's won HOH twice. I mean, yeah, she
And
has.
so I'm sure something like that's what was pushing her through it. But I don't know. I feel like
I had
like,
massive Angela whiplash this week
yeah.
because we were there, but we were also, well, I personally was not a fan of her when she was crying about the other stuff going on because we still have a game to play, believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a veto that needs to be situated. So our new house guest Cam wants to pull himself off the block, obviously,
Bro's in
which
here for
means
one
we,
week and already wants to get him off the block. They picked
gosh,
him up and they plopped him in the backyard on day 40.
yep.
Sorry,
Now we have to find a replacement Omni.
what? Unless he doesn't use it
What?
on himself. No, just kidding. He's no Tucker.
Uh,
But
and who better but Angela? Dun dun dun. And the entire house, well, not the entire house, but really just the entire Sixth Avenue Alliance, decides, wow, great idea, to put up Angela because she is trying to get Tucker out. Who would want to do that? Why would anyone ever try and get Tucker out of this house? And so she tells Tikor and Quinn. Was Tikor there? I have no idea if Tikor was there, but Quinn was the main culprit. She was like, I want to get Tucker out of the house because he told me that the house wants me to be, or the house is that I'm the AI. And they were calling the AI instigator the AI. And they thought that Angela was the AI instigator.
calling it
Um,
the AI makes me laugh because it's like it reminds me of things like adding the word the before things that don't need it, like the Netflix
the
or
Netflix, the
the
AI,
Instagram. It's the AI.
the AI. Uh,
um,
yeah.
I the other thing is I don't remember like how if this was even before or after her punishment. Because side note, during these punishments, at least for hers and Joseph's, it's also a concern of, oh, I guess people could be plotting and whatever while these things are going on. I know some people left Angela's to go talk. I think Quinn was one of them. I don't remember who
Yeah.
else. But also at all I remember at this point, honestly, was that T-Core didn't really make it known what she wanted the outcome to be
Hmm.
because we joked before like, oh, she has to make some kind of choice. I feel like she wanted to put up whatever allowed her to make the least amount of choice. Like that was her choice.
The problem that with that though is because is the fact that she at this point in the game is the one HOH who actually has to make a well-informed decision
Mm-hmm.
because now there's no like target number one and obviously yeah there's a target number one, but you're working with him. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta come up with a reason to not put well, yeah, you can just do the easy bit and put up Chelsea, Cam, and a floater because they're not working with you. But I find it nice that she decided to give a little more thought to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and also having Tucker apply to be a pawn was probably very relieving for her because she knows in the back of her head that she's gonna have to get rid of him eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can't save himself this week, then we can just flip it on him.
Rel
And
Relieving to her, but to note too, almost immediately after he goes on the block, he's like instantly regretting it.
yeah, I would too.
I
Because
wouldn't
at this point in the
volunteer in the
game,
first place.
yeah, I wouldn't volunteer in the first place because you can't win everything. As much as it seemed like he had been winning everything,
Hmm.
something was going to happen that would require him to make like he had to be there for eviction night at least one time after being
Hmm.
on the block. And unfortunately, by the end of it, he wasn't able to save himself with the veto. And
Cam is not as
Angela
crazy as he.
managed to be the replacement nominee on Wednesday after the whole debacle because T-Core didn't want to put up Chelsea, the easy bit, and just put up the other Pentagon member. And the fact that Angela, what were you saying? I
No,
saw
I was
your.
gonna say, because my favorite point was the one who missed all of this unfold. But I was also gonna bring up that Leah's name was brought up a whole bunch.
Oh yeah, Leah.
Was this the episode when Quinn was talking about Leah?
Quinn.
I don't
Well,
remember
Quinn
if
has
that was
been about
Wednesday or
Leah this entire
Thursday.
time.
I need to address it because I'm upset. I'm
What?
so sad that the T Core is like, oh, well, maybe Leah could go up, and Quinn's like, no. Yeah, they do this whole thing where like Quinn is like
He's in love with
in
her.
love with Leah, and Leah's just like, bing, 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 and like could care less about him. No. And I'm so sad because like no Quinn, please. I love you, Quinn. Please stop it. I in the last 2 weeks, gameplay aside, I love Quinn. I love Quinn so much that I'm just like, please, please, sir, do not be in love with her. She does not care about you in the game, outside of the game. Please get away from that. Stop defending her. Because he's like, Angela should go up. It should be Angela. It should not be Leah under any circumstances because he's in love with her and she doesn't care. Just ditch her, please.
He
And
doesn't care.
like half the house knows too because Leah will outwardly talk about how much she doesn't like Quinn. And he's just still like like puppy eyes or whatever. Like just like ah. But anyway,
We'll never know
I'm so
because
sad.
we're gonna get more of this too. And
I'm so
you
sad.
know what? I'm not even gonna say anything because that's next week's spoilers.
But
But regardless, back on
my
track.
because my favorite thing is just before the like Cam stands in front of the house and he introduces himself for the first time and he's like, I have won the veto, and then the house is like Big Brother is like, Joseph, you can now
Yeah, I
exit.
forgot. We
This
haven't talked
whole
about the
time
Matrix
we
at
haven't at
all.
all because he's gone for 24 hours and it's just like life goes on. He's in, is it the have not room?
Yes.
Are there have nots?
I guess they just suspended them for one
What is
day.
this? They throw him in there and he has to stay there for 24 hours. They give him food like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. He has to use the bathroom in a tent. That's all we'll say about the tent. And there's AI Matt, aka first evicted from the house this summer, just yapping for 24 hours.
The
Just yap,
entire
yap, yap, yap,
time.
yap, yap. The Matrix, which again is why it would be so funny if it was Angela in there. But I am glad for her sanity that it was not. So
I'm glad that we got, but Joseph was like he did a good job in the Matrix.
I want
I
a
like the
full
bit where he
transcript.
had the he put like a laundry basket on his and he was like, "Shut up."
I love,
They did
well,
good though.
well,
That was really funny.
I liked it. The bits that they showed, I thought it was very funny. Like the lines, and I wish I like knew any off
Hmm.
the top of my head, but I want a
He was
transcript of
he
what
was
they had Matt say.
talking about what he should nickname himself instead of Crazy Eyes, and he was like, but he ended up he was like Dreamy Eyes. I really like Dreamy Eyes. Can you imagine my name being Dreamy Eyes instead of Crazy Eyes?
It was just like that kind of rambling that I loved so much because that's also how my brain works. I feel like it's just
Oh,
like
the best part was the part where he was counting and he was like, there's no A in the number.
there's no A in A before
And
like
he got to like
1,000.
59.
59. See? No A.
I
Oh
wonder how
my
far he
God.
went. Do you think he went up to like what is the first let number?
Wasn't it
Who knows?
1,000?
I don't
I don't know. He
think
said
there
it.
is an A. Yeah, he did say it. Well, thank you, Matt, for that
Thank you,
piece of
Matt.
spectacular useless information.
I loved it. I want a full transcript of it, but I don't want to experience it for 24 hours. And what's very fun and silly then is he's just like up there doing his own thing, eating PB&J, and life goes on and he comes out so disheveled, no shirt
He
on.
doesn't have a
His
shirt on
shirt
either.
is tied around his head on his ears. I was thinking that he's trying to like muffle like the sound of Matt. And he
That's
just walks
definitely what he was
downstairs.
doing.
Everyone else, whatever happened in the last 24 hours of like Cam deciding who if he's using it, which wasn't really talked about too much because like it was kind of a no-brainer. Who's going to be on the block? Is it going to be this person, Angela, Leah? Who agrees, who disagrees? And he missed all of it. He just like walks down there and says like nothing. I don't think he says anything. He just sits down looking completely like a mess with no shirt on his head, and just sits down. Proceed. Like that was it.
They were like, "How was it?" He was like, "Terrible."
And that was it. It would have
I
been
wonder how.
really funny if he was the replacement nom. Be
Oh,
like,
that would
yeah,
be
a
terrible.
lot's happened in the last 24 hours. You're going up there now. But maybe they filled him in later.
Probably.
But and that was a 2 hour episode. I think really just to show because we did have three different punishments going on at the same time. We had the AI
Oh,
instigator.
and we forgot one too. Another one. The AI
Oh my
assistant.
gosh,
This is a 2-hour episode, guys.
Chris! I think we need a 2 hour episode just to unpack all of this. There's
It's too much
another
to unpack.
one.
Yeah, well, I mean, the assistant wasn't too crazy. I thought it was pretty silly though. This was Tucker's. Tucker got a costume too. Um, foreshadowing. Tucker has a costume,
Foreshadowing is
and a
crazy.
punishment where he dresses up as the AI assistant and basically acts as ChatGPT for the whole week, basically. I think, well, the whole 24 hours. Um, he was
However
still
long
wearing
it
the
was.
costume on eviction night. I
Hmm.
don't really know exactly how often he was doing these lookups. Basically, he would get a question from like the intercom over the house of like a voice actor, and then they were like, "Hey, AI assistant, can you tell me what the the three classes of whales are?" And it was like stuff like that. and
Yeah.
he had to get it right. He had to look through an encyclopedia, a set of encyclopedias that Big Brother issued. Um, and if he got the question wrong, he would have to go back to the encyclopedia and find the right answer. And he couldn't stop until he got it, which is like a standard do thing throughout day punishment.
Throughout
But it
the
was very
night as
silly.
well.
Well, throughout, yeah, day and night. 24-hour do the thing punishment. Pretty standard. Um, but anyway,
Well,
that's
one
everything for Wednesday.
one more note on that though.
One more note on that thing.
What's funny was the house guests and Big Brother alumni were commenting that it was crazy seeing a book in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Because it hasn't been, I think in the very first seasons, people, you could write on like paper and you could read or you could do whatever, and there's basically none of that. One of my favorite things in the last like 10 years was when people made cards with like tea bags and nail polish. Like they had to figure out like other things to do because there's nothing to write with and nothing to read. Like people would read like shampoo bottles because they got nothing else to do. Now they have encyclopedias. So that was exciting. Also, who knows the last time Tucker opened an encyclopedia? Because I can't tell you the last time I did. That would be a learning curve. I cannot lie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not that complicated.
I'm sure I
But
could.
anyway,
But I'd be more
but
upset
anyway,
about the costume.
what?
I'd be more upset about wearing a costume.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, I feel like those costumes are just designed to be the worst ever.
Worst ever.
The worst ever.
And
Moving
thus,
on to Thursday, after Angela gets put up on the block,
dun dun
dun
dun.
dun dun, Cam takes himself down. The current nominations are Tucker, Angela, and Mackenzie. Wow!
Wow.
And we start getting some
Wow.
important talking from the HOH. Ms. T-Core and Chemo are like, wait, guys, we should take out Tucker if he loses because he's the biggest threat in the house. And they're like, wow, why didn't we think about this? And now they're thinking about it. So
Mm-hmm.
they start rallying. They pull in Angela, rally the troops. They talk to Mackenzie and Leah. Leah and Mackenzie were obviously very down with it because why wouldn't they be? So they have two votes in Emo, T-Core, Mackenzie, and Leah, which is four votes, or three votes actually, because T-Core can't vote. And
Mm-hmm.
now all they need is two more. What better than to look towards the Pentagon? So, since Cam was able to pull himself off the block, they decided to rope him into this. And he was like, probably, because he's pretty tight with Tucker. And
Mm-hmm.
so he had to make a decision. And Chelsea was obviously 100% giddy. Let's get him out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And so was Quinn, which also I want to say a silly little thing
Please do.
because I remember last week talking about how I wouldn't put it past Quinn to do one more favor for Tucker. And I believe that condition was fulfilled when Quinn decided to tell Tucker about how Angela was getting rid of him
Mm-hmm.
because that was a very big move. And if Quinn never told Tucker in an alternate universe, who knows how that day would have panned out? Like maybe yeah, Angela's still going on the block, but Tucker's not going to have Tucker did not have a huge he managed to flip the target onto Angela because
Mm-hmm.
of what Quinn did. I just want to mention that.
Well, that was the conversation in the bathroom, right?
Yes. Well, no, it
When
was in like was it the bathroom? I don't know if
I
it was the
know,
bathroom or
well,
like the
Tucker with
storage room.
Angela. Yes, no, because
No,
I
not
think
Tucker with Quinn. When Quinn told him about how Angela wanted to flip the to like get rid of him.
But I meant like, didn't he confront her?
Yes, he did
Yes.
afterwards, but that was
Yeah,
only because of Quinn.
because of
That
Quinn.
was because Quinn told him.
Oh, Quinn.
Yeah.
I love Quinn.
But yeah, he did talk to Angela and he was like, I don't know how much I do for you, and you still
It was
I
like
felt
really awkward
yeah,
because she's
but
just like sitting there. She's like,
he
like
was
you
kind
said.
of right though. Because
Yes.
why is she so crazy about it when he's the only one in the house playing an honest game, I would like to mention. He has never lied to anybody once. He's made some weird moves and some wacky
Hmm.
moves, but he's never went back on his word.
Yeah.
He every single time he says he's doing something, he does it.
Hmm.
Like to another house guest, obviously.
Yeah.
Because like the whole I'm gonna use the veto on this person doesn't really pertain to himself or it doesn't really pertain to another house guest. But
Hmm.
anyways, tangent aside, we move on to the AI arena. Which do you remember the name of the competition? I don't know.
No.
But it was a puzzle.
You know who
It
loves
was-
puzzles?
Tucker loves puzzles.
He does.
He does.
But is he good at
Is
it?
he good at it?
So, this is awkward. So, we've got this AI arena, right? Reminder, it's Tucker versus Angela versus Mackenzie. It's puzzles. He loves puzzles. And they have to take these big foam pieces and put them in a row where it fits into like this wall. It reminded me of like a key, like with
Yeah,
the
it
like
was like a
etching.
yeah.
And and so they had to face a certain way. They would display a code when they're put in the right order, just numbers, and then you had to find another like board that you have to put in somewhere else,
It's like a chip.
a chip to like ring
Yeah.
in your final answer. And so, well, Angela tried. So we're gonna talk mostly about the other two. So,
Well, honestly, if anything, Tucker also tried. I'm not gonna. I don't want to say that he did a very good job with this,
so
but spoiler alert. But also not really. Mackenzie won it by a lance.
yeah.
It was like like there was no competition. Like you
Well,
can't look me in the eyes and tell me that Tucker did a good job.
it was really impressive. Not, I'm not even as impressed at her winning as I'm impressed at him losing so much.
It
But,
was terrible. He
but
was putting
so
stuff diagonal.
he was stacking them on top of each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd like to believe, okay, I watch, they do a little bit of a sample. They show you before, like what the outcome should look like. They're not showing the house guest this. So of course, we at home, we're watching like what it should look like and he doesn't know. Bro, faced everything the wrong way. He was approaching the competition, and I don't remember. It's like basically all the numbers. If they had to face left, he had them face right, and like completely did the whole thing backwards. And that's why he failed so bad. He did not.
Yeah.
He did
It
not
was
win.
not even a competition. Mackenzie, by the way, winning two AI arenas, she's a lot more like I know that most people talk about how, oh, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna win the AI arena or I'm gonna go out there and win this competition. When she says it, she means it sometimes. So go Mackenzie. She's
She
not a
means it
pushover.
sometimes. I like. She means it typically most of the time.
Most of the time. And
I
so
do
does
make
Tucker, but apparently he's
not
on
this
the
time.
opposite side of the coin this time.
I do
Uh,
make fun of everyone in every competition, regardless of what show,
mhm.
when they're always like,
Yeah,
I have to win this competition. It's like, okay,
I hate
so does
those
everyone
times.
else.
It's so
And they're
embarrassing.
always prompted,
Uh-huh.
whatever, it's fine. Well, she
It's like a
did.
scripted like event.
They like
It
read it
like
on the screen. Please
yeah.
insert these words in your monologue. You
Yeah.
have to win. Emphasis on half.
Have to win
Have
this.
to win. HAF. I have to win.
Have to win. Um,
Well, he don't, but she do.
he don't. She did.
And they
And
do
from
the
yeah, from
little
this point
walk
on,
down of the stairs.
yeah,
And then they please Julie Chen and they actually beg people.
strategize. But there was really
Oh,
no
strategize,
strategizing
sure.
going on. From
You
this
can
point, I
call it
feel
that.
like the moment Mackenzie won, I think his fate was sealed.
The minds of the
Everyone
mass
was
were made
everyone
up.
because like what's the point of taking out Angela here? She's
Mm,
basically created herself another lifeboat. Now she's alone. Tucker is by far the best player to have ever played the game, without a doubt.
he's too
You
good
don't
for his
just
own good.
pass up this opportunity, just like Cedric.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he wasn't surprised. He was very less than surprised. So it was 6-3, 6-3, I believe. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was 6-3. Um, Tucker is bye-byed
Bye-bye.
because why wouldn't they? Which I'm kind of sad about
Mm-hmm.
because he was making the season watchable.
Well, yeah. Um, I tragically watched the episode later and it was spoiled
Oh,
before.
really?
It was spoiled before I got to see it, and I was in shock because I didn't think they were gonna do it. I love
Really?
Tucker. Tucker's on my draft. I think he was great entertainment. I didn't think they were gonna do it. And I'm impressed that they did, and I'm glad that they did because it was his game to lose. It's so honest,
And he did. He
and he
had three
did.
chances. He had three
Um,
chances.
and he had a lot working against him, which we'll get into in a moment, I suppose. But I was a little bit shocked when I found out ahead of time and watching it, knowing it the whole time. Like, okay, I guess they painted it that way. I'm glad that they did it. It made the most sense. I'm devastated. A lot of people online are like, "Oh no, the Tucker's out. I'm not gonna watch the rest of the season." Meh, 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 meh. Like, come on, like,
I think at this point it's too late for them to like they can't form a super alliance. They're still gonna do the duo thing. Like that's what I've observed this
mm,
season. Most of the gameplay is happening in like groups of two people. Like you have
mm-hmm.
your T-Core and Chemo, you have and um Cam and Chelsea, you have Mackenzie and Leah, you have Quinn, and honestly, Quinn's pair was like Tucker, but like Quinn's kind of the only
No, they were
solo
enemies to
player.
lovers.
That's true.
Well, Quinn
Quinn's
was
like the
kind
only
of
solo player in this game, though.
well, because then Quinn was kind of attached to Chemo and T-Core, but then they're the duo in the trio. Joseph thinks he's really close with Leah, but not quite.
Well,
But not
I don't
not.
know.
There was
Yeah.
a bit when I saw that Leah was talking to Quinn, Cam, and Joseph that they were Leah's angels. That was the three of them who are
God.
all just like head over heels for her. But um I don't know if they're gonna try to form something bigger next
We might
week.
see in the coming weeks.
We may.
Who
Who
knows?
knows? But as we near the end of the diary room, we have to address why did Tucker lose the game? Well, alongside obviously being voted out because he was too good of a player for his own BB good, we must address that he had a lot of things working against him. From day one, he was the first house guest to enter the house. And I don't think anybody who has been the first house guest to enter the house has won Big Brother.
That's like the main
The main
like
curse.
that's the main curse.
And so
Like
if you
if
didn't
any of
know,
these are fake, this is the real
that's
one.
the one. Because anyone who watched premiere night, you go back and you see the group of people. It was like Tucker, Angela, Chelsea, and I think Cam were like who have the first four to enter the house. None of them wanted to go in first, and Tucker
Except
took
for
one for the
Tucker.
team. He wanted to. He wanted to prove this
He
curse
wanted to break
wrong.
the curse. But you can't break the
Now,
curse.
can't break it. You also can't break. Apparently, there are other curses that came up along the way that I found out that apparently the fifth week HOH does not do well. They do not win. If not all the time, at least most of the time they don't win. And he was in fact the HOH week 5. There's supposedly a curse of those who wear costumes, costume
There have been
punishments.
many costume uh people to leave the game in a costume, uh
Sitting there with Julie.
including I have a list here of everybody who was evicted with a costume, uh being Hale from BB-8, Casey from BB-11, Lydia from BB-11, two people from the 11th season, Kristen from BB-12, Candace from BB-15, Cody from BB-19, Indy from 24, Izzy from 25, and now Tucker from 26. So it seems like the past 3 years we've had a costume exit. So you definitely don't want to get a punishment or else.
You
Dun
also
dun
know
dun.
you did something wrong when Julie Chen smacks you on the head with her papers. Because she was excited to see Tucker out
Yeah.
there, but also really upset that like, why didn't you ask me to repeat the rules? I asked if you understood the rules while he's sitting there in a not a onesie, a bodysuit, with trunks and a cap on. But another curse specific to this season is Ainsley's curse, where way back premiere night, when the house guests got to vote on whether or not they wanted Ainsley, a person, not robot, to join the house, every house guest who's been evicted so far voted to not have her enter the house. So that is a BB26 specific curse where Ainsley is getting out all of her ops,
I think
supposedly.
Lisa voted yes, though.
Oh, is that true?
I'm pretty sure Lisa is the one person who's been evicted who voted yes.
Well,
But everybody else voted no.
Lisa has always been special, but still on track to remove the no's. So
Yeah,
if you're a no, watch out
watch
for
out.
Ainsley's curse, I suppose.
And by
And
virtue
that's
of that rule, Leah has a chance. Don't forget it.
it's true, and I won't forget because,
Oh,
well,
also, so does Quinn.
it's true.
That's
It's
final two
true.
right there, guys.
Final
Lock
two.
it in.
Leah would hate it.
She would,
Leah
because
wants
she
nothing
knows
to
she
do with it.
loses it.
Well, speaking of winners and losers, we must update on our draft. You know, this is a
I
sad
sit
day for
back
me.
another week, let my pieces fall into place. I said this weeks ago. I said my draft picks are not as bad as you think they are.
And what did I say?
Well,
Now it's even.
well, all right.
We're even.
We're now even. I have lost arguably my strongest pick in Tucker.
Easily.
Easily my strongest pick.
Easily your strongest pick.
I've lost Tucker. I've lost Cedric. Four remain, and we are even. For Chris also has 4 picks remaining. Oswald is in last place with only 2 remaining in Chemo and Rubina. But it's still anyone's game. And at the end of the day, if I lose this draft because Quinn wins, I still win. I love Quinn so much.
I
But
knew
for
that
right
was a good
now,
draft.
right now, I am wearing chef hat of shame. Goodbye, Tucker.
We'll definitely be back with the real hat of shame when
What do
we're
you
in
mean by that, Chris?
studio next week. We'll be back.
So back.
In. ye old WMSC studio, 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair studio,
Our diary room.
our actual diary room where we'll be where Ms. Mole will be wearing her
Something of shame.
her hat of shame in real life,
IRL diary room.
IRL diary room. So excited
But
to be back.
most importantly too, we're not going to be at this time anymore. That's right.
That is
so many.
right.
This is the plot twist of the
This is
season.
the plot twist of the season.
Expect the unexpected. The diary room will now be
They
live.
don't know.
They don't know.
They don't
tell
know
them.
that this is not live. You're
Oh,
listening
no.
to
Oh, no. But it will
this
be.
whole summer. You have been listening to two people talk the night before Sunday.
Plot
It is
twist.
currently 10:13 p.m. on Saturday.
But not for
August
you.
31st.
Not for you. For you, you're already in September. You're looking forward to tonight's episode of Big Brother and very much looking forward to listening to the Diary Room WMSC at noon on Thursdays from now on. Woo!
New time.
New time! And we won't know who will be evicted at that point, but we will speculate. And we'll have even more time to dissect the next HOH, who's on the block, who wins the veto, blah, 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 blah. So don't miss us too much. We'll be back very soon.
Oh my. Goodbye, everybody. Wash your hands and listen to the diary room and watch Big Brother.
That's what I'm
Those
talking
are my
about.
outro notes.
Love it.